Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss the government shutdown, the continued push of NFT strategies, and the ultimate abstract farming guide. I have a question in the comment. Where's Easy? Where's Nick? Where's Clemente? We don't need them. They're in Asia because we
fired them.
Special guest today. We've got the Abstract Alpha, the lead gainer on Abstract. Your favorite. You've seen him before. We've got Eli on the show today. Welcome to the show, Eli. Thank you for joining us. How you feeling?
Thank you for having me. Wow, such energy. It's contagious. No, I'm doing good. I woke up to market pumping a little bit. A lot of things I'm sidelined on moving. It's enjoyable to watch, but I'm doing all right. Excited to be here. I watch you guys whenever I actually get up on time. So it's good to be here.
Happy to have you and happy to have you on. We're going to talk all things abstract today after we get through the main news topics. I'm excited to learn a little bit more and figure out how to really optimize my my farming. I had a couple tech issues, but we're fixing it all now. We got Eli on the show. We have Kicks as well. If you're listening on Spaces, give us a like, give us a bookmark, give us a comment. If you're feeling generous, give us a retweet. Push us out there in the algorithm. If you're in the comments on YouTube, let us know which abstract meme coins you're in. I'm curious to see what people want to talk about and what they're shilling. Kicks. It's been a couple days. Actually, it's only been one day, but it feels like it's been a while. We talked yesterday at the end of the show with Greeny. We did a real quick segment on the strategy NFT tokens, and we said, hey, you know which ones we're bullish on? We're bullish on maybe the Burbster token with Moonbirds, and we saw an absolute cook here.
Boom!
Look at this bad boy.
Look at that one candle, dude.
Yeah, this is the 1 hour chart. This thing
that's a fat candle. Hey, I made a little song, Ray.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So it's to the theme song of the Lego movie. Anyone out there seen it? The Everything is Awesome song. So ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Everything is pumping. Bears can suck on this knob. Everything is pumping. Imagine fading all this fun. Everything is pumping. Being a bear sucks.
Knob.
I love it. I like how Eli got in with a little cameo,
a little
harmony going on. Yeah.
Yeah, these things are absolutely pumping. Moonbirds in general up big on the day. Look at this floor for Moonbirds here, up over 3.4 ETH.
Hercules.
Crowd's going wild over here. Burb strategy, we called this one yesterday, almost a clean 2x from where we did. They were holding like 35 NFTs this morning, down to 27. These were all sold basically today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 15 Burb strategy Moonbirds sold on the market as the floor pumped. Looking at a Burb strategy floor of 3.5. Over on OpenSea, we've got a 3.48 floor here. So as the NFTs pump, we're seeing the flywheel in action, buying back, burning the Burbster tokens as well. The token price for Burbster is at 8.3 million. Big wick down there on a sell. Somebody just took $43,000 worth of profit off of this one live on the show. 8.3 million now on Burbster. This thing got as high as 10.5. So pretty crazy. And this is, I think, one of the largest like NFT purchases like from a strategy. We had the test sell on the Punk early. But we haven't had any of the strategies really sell this many NFTs, and we're going to kind of get like our first real look at what this flywheel does when price goes up, essentially. My concern, like looking at it now, is like, hey, they've net lost like 8 Moonbirds during this. So like as the floor price goes up, it's going to like very severely deplete like what assets are in the treasury. So like, are you valuing it based on assets in the treasury or like the volatility of the NFT collection? So it's kind of like an interesting experiment. We're going to see it play out in live time with Moonbirds and Burbster here with this pump and any future pumps. Any thoughts on this, Kicks, on how this has played out so far this morning?
Yeah, I mean, if it keeps like selling through them, it's also buying back, burning the token, which is pumping it, but also those keys are being recycled again. So it'll just keep buying. That's why, like, looking at the things like MicroStrategy doesn't make sense, because it's not like a net asset value kind of play, right? Because there's actually a deflationary effect on the token. So obviously the strategy having more NFTs is great, but also the strategy making profit and helping push the floor up is great too. You know what I mean? So even if Moonbirds gets to 10 ETH and it goes from having 40 of these to 10, it still has probably the same value, and that whole recycling effect pump the token.
Yeah, interesting. Eli, have you been paying any attention to these strategy tokens on the timeline? Now you focus on abstract, but I'm curious if you've seen these at all, if you have any take yourself.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Like normally I probably would have entered at least in the Moonbird one, because I'm already pretty heavily allocated to Moonbirds. And so I thought it was interesting, but I just had a bad tendency of whenever I get burned by some trades, I stop looking at others to enter and I kind of cool off. So I took some bigger trades on some Solana coins that I felt were bottomed that ended up not bottoming yet, and a pretty significant hit. So I was like, okay, let me take a seat back and just let the bags that I'm in cook. And so I've been kind of hesitant to enter anything. The Punkster one, or the Punk strategy one, to me wasn't enticing. I think just because it was already kind of out of my buy zone. I think by the time I saw it was already 25 mil, and birds to me, at least, maybe because I'm already in the ecosystem a lot, looked really good to me. So I didn't enter it, but I don't really feel that bad. I think because I bought a bunch of Moonbirds when I had Spencer on my stream when they were like 0.5, 0.4.
Yeah, so you're fucking happy.
Yeah, like to me, I benefit from this regardless. Yeah, like to me, I benefit from it regardless. So I didn't really feel the need to enter. I am kind of salty. I say that as cope because I look at it regardless, and the price looks good. But I think it's really cool. They tried one on because now they do they have the Pudgy strategy yet or no? Is it live?
Yeah.
So someone on Abstract tried front running it and made their own, and it did all right. And so I had a little bit of exposure to that, but I realized it didn't really make sense because it can't be permissionless.
Fully automated.
Right, because it's Pudgy Penguins aren't on Abstract. And so you're buying the token on Abstract, so someone is manually doing it. So that was most of my exposure to it. I've been keeping an eye on it. Honestly, the Moonbird one is still kind of looking good to enter, but I'm so mid curve right now. I can't chase anything.
No, I think if I can say so myself, Ali, because that's a very common thing and a thing that I've dealt with multiple times in trading, is when you take some L's and then like your mindset's off and maybe you don't get into some longs or whatever, the worst thing you can do is then get double emotion and then start spewing chips, and then you get really down, then you're really fucking upset. It's best just to do nothing until your chakras are aligned again. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then get in. Because dude, that's a real fucking thing. When you make some trades, you lose some money, then you're rattled, and then it affects your mindset. It happens to me all the fucking time. That's why I tell so many people that I've developed certain things. Like if I buy a coin and it pumps and I sell it and then it keeps pumping, I'll never get back in on that thing, because I've done it before where I get back on the thing, then I lose money on the second buy, right? So then I give back some, if not all of my gains on the first buy, and then I'm so mentally rattled that I'll miss a bunch of other things. So I'm like, fuck it. If this doesn't fit my style, I'm not buying it, or I'm not getting back in, and I'm happy if it fucking pumps, whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, for sure. I struggled with that a little bit on pump. I had to train myself because I bought the bottom of pump. I sold pretty much the top, and I really have to control myself from re-entering back in and chasing. I've saved myself, but I mean, I do think like it is hard because at a certain point, I think as a trader, I need to learn how to. Greeny has said it before, but I just need to learn how to change my bias and be okay with flipping it. It's yeah, fuck. I looked at it. I looked at it 2 days ago. I'm like, this looks. I was like, this looks just like. And I told my friend this before Pump even really took off. I'm like, this kind of looks like it's the Pengu chart. And my friend's like, nah, dude, like you're an idiot. The structure doesn't look the same at all. I'm like, nah, it definitely does. Because now I look at it, it looks just like the Pengu chart. The only difference is it didn't. Pengu didn't get
where it does that early pump, pump, pulls back, and then pumps harder through.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it looks like couple. Wait, this can't be right. This is not the chart. Wait, what?
It probably didn't get on Hyperliquid the full time.
Oh yeah.
It probably got added to Hyperliquid at a different period.
I'll pull it up somewhere else.
So I think the hard part for me is just learning how to change bias and also just not. I'll be honest. I think when you trade and you have friends that trade or like people that trade, when you know their entry so early, things start looking like it's a bad buy for you. Whereas like if I just showed up to the token now, had no idea, and I looked at the the structure or whatever, I'm like, this could probably go higher. But if I know people who got in at like 20x lower price, it makes me feel like it's a bad entry now. And
I call that framing. I call that framing. So like your buy or someone else's buy will frame how you look at the token, but other people don't have that framing. It was the same thing with me with Bored Apes because I bought them at 1 ETH. You know what I mean? So when I see them going to like 8 or 9 or 10 plus ETH pumping, I'm like, there's no way these things can go any further because I got on at 1, right? But that's like that framing that I set. I missed on Pump 2. I actually set a buy at like 0.044. So I just needed this thing to bleed like another 15% where it bottomed, and I would have caught the long. And then, of course, I check back in on it, and now we're at 0.6. We're past where I was going to sell my buy. You know what I mean? I'm on the entry now. And so I'm like, same as you on Pump. I'm like, fuck, I missed the bottom. The chart looks good.
Wait, to be clear, I did get the very bottom.
But you made money, 100%. I didn't make any money on Pump.
But the problem is like the Burb strategy. Like I look at it now, I'm like, fuck, dude. I know people who got in this like 20x lower. This is probably like a bad idea to get in. But then I'm not looking at it objectively. Like, okay, well, if Punk strategy goes here, maybe this goes like maybe 5x lower. I don't look at the actual floor of Moonbirds and see, okay, how much ETH can it actually accumulate and put back into the like. I'm not actually looking objectively. I'm just looking at as they got in at X price. It can only go so high. Also, I want to shout out my I propped them up, but I have my Bodago boards.
Oh, let's go.
I put them up just for this. But yeah, so I think for me it's kind of tough, and that's something I'm trying to learn how to get better at because I do sideline myself. It's just from talking myself out of things. I think that's not like a crazy nuanced new take that people kind of mid-curve shit, but so anyways, to wrap it all up, no, I'm not in them. I've been looking at them. I actually would like to enter one that I think would come up would be Gigaverse. They have Good Luck, Have Fun, which is their PFP collection on ETH mainnet, and the whole community has been trying to get Dith to do it. And so I think he's
trying right now. I think Adam's just like jammed up.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also tough because what is the descending roller coaster loop, right? It's like an event. So Gigaverse already has it with the auctioneer. Whenever they do their like 101 sales, then they just it takes all the ETH and buys the floor and stuff. But like I wonder, okay, well, the smaller collections, does it really make sense? Is it going to work the same way? Is it too late in the lifespan of this meta where okay, well, this is just going to do worse and worse and worse, and eventually it just depletes?
I think it depends on the community of the token holders themselves and if they're excited about that thing. Because I think you're right. As more strategies come, it's harder maybe for the Punk strategy core audience to then keep allocating to all the other ones. But like I think why you're seeing certain one of these do well is because they have a really bullish community. Like, Moonbirds has a really bullish community that really believes in it, right? Same with Pudgy. Crypto Dick Pud's surprising to me. I think that's just an isolated bullish community. But
I think it's just a meme.
Yeah,
I like this because of the meme.
Wow.
yeah, I mean, Dick strategy is actually kind of funny. Yeah, Ellie, the other thing for me that wait,
I have to stop you. Okay, I was gonna stop first. So it's Eli, not Ellie. Every time I hear Ellie, I think.
Oh my god, I keep doing that. I know it's Eli because he literally introduced you as Eli. Because my brother's name is Eli and it's Eli. So every time I see it, I don't think it's Eli. That's not me, Eli.
No,
That's the second time I've done that, Eli, on another show. But Eli, one thing I'm trying to get better on this cycle is playing my game too. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, I don't know, like now I'm trying to get better. Like when I see other people trade things and they're making a bunch of money off of it, I'm like, fuck it. Like it didn't fit my fucking style. So like everything you were doing on abstract, and you were like super early, I was like getting like FOMO on that. Then I'm like, dude, I fucking suck at meme coins. I fucking suck at farming airdrops. So I just need to be, hey, fucking let these guys cook over here. And then I'm gonna find my own thing. I'm a long Zcash, baby. I'm a long Zcash because Mert from Solana said to.
That's up nicely too.
Well, look, I don't think you're too late on abstract, but
we'll talk more on that too.
I just suck at farming. I'm lazy. I don't.
Well, yeah, we'll talk.
Points, all that shit.
We'll talk about that. I don't think you have to farm the way you think you do.
Okay.
But yeah, so like, are you guys? Just to wrap that up, like, do you guys think that these strategy coins go much higher?
I think Punk strategy could go much higher. I think that, like what Kick said was individual communities coming on and onboarding. Sort of like what you said. You're like, hey, I'm not in any of these. It's too late for me. But the community that I'm excited about, I want to buy that token. I think there might be a lot more people out there who have that same mindset. So we could see individual pumps. That goes back to Punk strategy. If Punk strategy continues to set high valuations, maybe that sets a floor for the other ones. And I think we're going to have to see what happens with like Moonbirds. Is this a sustained pump or just kind of like a one-off here? What happens after we see a collection kind of go through selling their NFTs and what that does to the overall both NFT price and the token price?
I think the Punk strategy bull case is that the holder profile is a lot of people that are already wealthy off of Punks and off of being early to ETH. And so the holder profile is like less likely just to like dump the shit out of.
Look at these unrealized P&Ls here for top holders. 5.3 mil, 5.2 mil, 3.6, 3.4, 2.9, 2.6. There's over 25 people who have at least 1 million of unrealized P&L in this token right now. I mean, it does have a fat liquidity pool. It's 7 million, but there's a lot of people who have a lot of money in this. I think that's what you said. Holder profile. Maybe those people don't sell for small gains because hey, they're long time
already wealthy.
Shit, dude, I'll tell you what. If I was up $1 million on this, I'd fucking one wicket. And I love Adam and I love Punk strategy, but $1 million is $1 million to me.
Yep, 100%. Okay, we've got a lot to talk about. We want to dive into abstract. We're about halfway through the show already, but we're going to kick it off with a little weather report here from Kicks. We'll hit this up, and then we'll get into the rest of the show.
You got it, boss. Wait, holy crap, there's nothing on the weather report.
Are you on the right page?
I don't know.
You're not on the right page. Oh, my God. I'm sending you the private chat.
What's going on here? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. What up, ladies and gentlemen? Today is Wednesday, October 1st. The majors pumped on the day with Bitcoin back over 116K, Ethereum approaching 4,300, Solana just under 220, hype back to $47. The U.S. government shut down last night after failing to pass funding legislation. Prediction markets are pricing in a 9.5-day shutdown, and no economic data, including tomorrow's job reports, will be published during the shutdown. Next up, Phantom announced the Phantom Cash Payments platform that will allow users to send, receive, and pay with cash. The platform implements Stripe's new stablecoin launchpad. This comes as Stripe applied for stablecoin charter in the United States, and they announced a stablecoin launchpad. That's pretty exciting. Finally, Artblocks announced their final Artblocks curated mint, which will take place next Thursday. The teaser video described the collection as a strange loop with a 497-piece supply and an unrevealed artist. That's it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report. Excellent recovery there, Kicks.
Thank you. I felt like Ron Burgundy there for a second.
You look like Ron Burgundy.
Nothing on the teleprompter. We'll talk more about this art blocks drop next week. We'll see what happens there. Jack Butcher announced he's launching a token. You see this one?
The human skeleton got a bank loan.
We talked about the Gas Wars drop. I just wanted to quickly bring this up, but Jack Butcher ERC 20 token, the rounds token is going to go to anyone who holds Gas Wars and everyone who failed to mint them. So 1482 indivisible token. So it's like a kind of an odd ERC 20. It's more of an NFT than it is a fungible token because you can't divide them outside of the supply. But wanted to highlight that. That being said, we've got Eli here. He is the abstract expert. I want to get your take on how we should farm abstract. I'm going to pull up my abstract profile. I want you to give me your honest assessment of what I am doing so far and how I've done.
Yeah, let's take a look.
This looks bullish. I'm top 5% of all XP.
Hey,
right?
hey, tanked almost 11K XP this week. Not bad, not bad.
How much XP are you earning on a weekly basis?
Almost 300K.
All right, so 30x what I'm doing.
But I'm also the top earner every week. So like that, I don't think that's comparable. I would say the average that I've seen on my timeline has usually been around maybe like 20 to 50K. But obviously that's not the actual average. That's just people who are using Twitter that are pretty prevalent. I think that it's going to be like video games. If you play a lot of video games, you know, you have these ranked tiers where it's bronze, silver, gold. It's like the same tiers actually. And I think the average player base usually in ranked sits in gold. I think it'll probably be something similar to this. So, okay, let's look at your profile. You're already missing some of the basic shit where it's telling you to do things. Connecting your Discord, which you haven't done.
Definitely done this before.
Fucking nerd.
It might have disconnected. It might have that is one thing that's kind of annoying. It's done it a few times now, and it's actually kept people from getting the XP that they probably should have gotten because they
I have some sort of role in their Discord. I believe I do, at least, for having a Bodoggo.
Yeah, I would. I don't think a Bodoggo will get you XP. You might have a role, but it's not a role that would get you XP.
Okay, it was like they have abstract like I forget what they were called. They had like different like roles pre-launch.
Bodoggo might have gotten you that abstract role.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if you click, I don't see it. Yeah. So there's a couple
on a different tab that I had Discord hooked up to. All right.
There's a couple roles that you can have. If you click the bonus part on the left or on the gold, yeah, if you click that, it'll pull up some of these different tiers that you can have. Elite Chad is the one you have. Graduated Elite Chad, Giga Chad, which is the one you really want. But that is like, again, a lot of these are just manually given based on like what they see you provide in the community and the ecosystem. Giga Chad is like the main one that people really want. And then there's the two that you can buy into, which is a Pudgy Penguin holder, which will give you 50% bonus, and a little Pudgy holder, which will get you, was that 7.5? Yeah. And so I actually don't have a little Pudgy, so maybe I should just buy that to max out, but that'd probably be dumb. But so these are just kind of like percent multipliers. We don't know exactly how it applies. Something with the XP system is that we don't know when the snapshot happens, if it's cumulative throughout the week or if it's just kind of like, okay, right before. I doubt that it's right before, because then it would give the people a way to game the system where it's like, okay, well, now I just can nuke all my shit. But we'll talk a little bit about that, because the one thing about abstract XP that is different, and I think a lot of people kind of have this notion because of Blast and maybe just points in general on most platforms, it doesn't reward volume traded. It doesn't reward farming. And that's why when I hear the term farming, it's kind of tough because it gives that preconceived notion where it's like, okay, if I just trade a shit ton of volume nonstop, it's going to get me a lot of experience points. It actually doesn't. I think it actually hurts you. Luca was on an interview think a couple times, where he's like, you know, we're not rewarding people who don't believe. We're not rewarding traders. We want to reward holders and believers. And so I get most of my XP from coins, right? Like they used to not really provide a lot of XP. It was mostly NFTs. Streaming really honestly doesn't, from my experience, give much XP. I really hope they change that and incentivize streamers a little bit more. But most of my XP comes from holding coins. I have a pretty big holding of Gunnar, which I had Easy and Clemente on when I first started Abstract, and I had 2% of it. I think it was like worth $1,000 maybe or something, or $1,500, and they were calling me an idiot. And this is like when it was 150K market cap. Then it ran to 10 mil. And so for me, it's mostly kind of been that I play my games. I play Gigaverse. I play Roach Racing. I play a couple things, but most of it has come from value accrued. And then I believe there's going to be hidden multipliers beneath, which is like multipliers for length of time held. Like if you sell, it probably ends like some streak that you have in the back end. So it's fun because you can't necessarily game it. The only thing we know is that value held is one of the strongest things, but it's really hard to farm something when you don't know like the trigger points. And so that's been one thing. This week they actually, so to be candid, Abstract has really, really struggled on one end, which has been DeFi. There's been zero DeFi. TVL has been pretty rough.
I've done some DeFi on Abstract. I've done some LPs.
So now, right, but there was no incentive to it because, you know, there's not much volume on chain. So if you're providing like LP, you're not really eating on fees at all because no one's really trading the coins, and so
you're not getting like rewards for it either.
Right, exactly. And so this changed last week or 2 weeks ago. You went through it when you were going through the apps, but Reservoir doesn't provide anything for users. Okay. Cyclops. Okay, yeah. First of all, also I love Cyclops. I think it's going to be a top coin. But a new protocol came out called Kona, which is from the Kitty Punch team, I believe.
Wait, hold on, time out. I just saw this. I was looking at trading, and I went to explore, and I saw by volume it was one of the top.
It's one of the top ones for sure. So Kona just came on to. I wouldn't swap here though. If you go, I would go to their website. Okay. But so Kona is a new DeFi protocol that just came out. They're incentivizing with their own platform points and chests, right? So they do have like an on platform thing, but they're also officially like getting support from Abstract for points as well, like XP. So people who are providing LP are finally getting XP, which is a nice layer where that was never really rewarded or incentivized before. And the token has been kind of cooking. I think the liquidity pool on Deck Screener, at least, it's like 1-to-1 almost. It's kind of weird. The only issue I have with this, if you go to top traders, is I think they had a token before they came to Abstract, and people were able to swap it and sell it. But it's, you know, like you look at some people with $700 purchase and then like 20,000 sell and 60,000 sale.
Yeah, but unrealized though. I mean, there's not much here.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yes. And so it's still doing well. I bought a bag of this, I think, at like 100K, and
you're
before that, really, yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, it's a nice bag for sure. It wasn't big enough because I don't know. I didn't really know much about it at the time, but this has kind of been like a big pain point for Abstract, right? The whole topic has always been TVL is really shit. There's no volume. Like some of the top coins would have like 10K volume on a day, or maybe like less. And it was just a really big struggle. And then Luca came on to an interview, or I think like 2 interviews, and basically said, you know, we didn't think DeFi would have been a big deal, or TVL should have been like a big focus. I regret that now. We're going to make that a priority. And so this whole next month, I think October, we're going to see a big kick up in DeFi platforms coming, or protocols coming. To me, it was like a chicken or the egg. Was it, okay, if TVL in volume increases, people will come here, or will TVL in volume increase because people come here? And I think now we're starting to see, okay, well, it was probably the the first one where people come here and then it incentivizes people to actually provide liquidity or trade, or, you want whales to come here who are going to be willing to just put, a few $100K in DeFi and just farm low risk. And then it just kind of increases the stats. So Kona here. And then there's a new one coming. I would keep your eyes out for it, called Aborion. That'll be coming really soon. And they've been, I think, cooking for a minute. So I'm excited to see what they do. But it's cool seeing Abstract
Can you spell
provide Aborion, Aborean.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So again, it's cool seeing Abstract finally kind of incentivize DeFi and liquidity pools, because again, my favorite token. I'm not gonna say my favorite, but like one of my top favorites is God the Dyslexic Dog, but it was at a point where the market cap was 10 mil, but the liquidity pool was like 700K, and it was just no one was providing anything because no one had a reason to. Like Gunnar had one whale who put in 100K because he's got such big bags that he doesn't really care. It's like pennies to him. But it's nice to finally see that happen. So I think it's a really big step in the right direction. And yeah, so anyways, back to the farming stuff. I think for me at least, I don't think you need to try to figure out really crazy strategies and how to farm. I would equate it, and here's some alpha for you. It's not about how much money you hold. I believe it's how, like, your proportion on a leaderboard, right? So imagine like this. A Pergy Penguin, Gunnar, maybe that coin gets 1 million XP to distribute among its holders. And then it goes by the holder list. Like, so the holder tier. So this dude owns the most Pergy Penguin, he's going to get the most. The higher the market cap of a coin or a project, the more XP allocation they get to spread on their project. So I know people with, they had $100,000 worth of Pengu, but then me with $20,000 worth of Gunnar was getting more XP, because $100,000 in Pengu is nothing. You're not even close in the top 50 holders, top 100 holders. Whereas if you're a top holder with like $20,000 in God or Pergy Penguin or Cyclops or whatever, you're going to probably eat more if those coins are decently high market cap. So for me, that's kind of been the strategy I've been going after. I know people who have just been trying to be on both ends of the spectrum, whereas they put as much money as they can in Pengu, but they're nowhere close on holder list, or they're putting a shit ton of money to be the number one holder in a coin that's like 100K market cap or 200K market cap, where that's not getting any XP allocation. So to me, that's been the most effective strategy ever since they start allocating XP to meme coins. And then, of course, you got stuff like Gigaverse, which I'm on the team as like whatever. But the cool thing about them, at least, and I really hope more games start doing this on Abstract, is in the game itself, you can intentionally like collect XP stubs, and which then cool. It's really cool. No other game does this. So you can, and again, I think the team is really fucking cracked. I think Dith is like one of the smartest dudes.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of him.
Ever since I got added to the chat, just the planning that they have, the way they allocate resources, the way they think about, and this is the big one, but their economy, like the way they run their in-game economy is so thoughtful that they have not run into any issues as far as, there's too much of this item, too
inflation.
It's crazy. You can burn items for XP stubs, and people love that, right? You can, and I think it's really, really cool. So Gigaverse is the other one where I think I've really gotten a lot of XP. And then also the other one has been Bitcoin, which has been absolutely cooking for me. I talked to Pio about it at a party like a month ago after he had a couple of drinks, and I was trying to talk to him about Bitcoin. He's like, "Are you trying to explain Bitcoin to me?" And I was like, it was like a whole
big
thing.
Coin.
No, I know, but he was like, "This is the same shit as Bitcoin. Why would I buy this?" And I'm like, "I'll talk to you when you're sober." And so to me, that's been really cool because they converted. So basically, I won't get too deep into it, but it's like, to me, it's like Habbo Hotel for
Yes.
Bitcoin,
I love Habbo Hotel art.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. It brings back so much nostalgia. That's the first thing I thought when I saw like the Bitcoin room where you get a farm in and everything. I was like, well done. Funny thing on PO, same exact pretty much that you did. I'm texting him and I'm like, dude, you got to check out Punk Strategy, dude. It's like this NFT. It's like MicroStrategy because he knows MicroStrategy, right? I was like, this is MicroStrategy for NFTs. And then he replies back and he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like MicroStrategy for NFTs. I'm over here buying AI Cypher and all these Bitcoin mining, pivoting to AI data set. Like it was the perfect left curve, right curve meme. Like he's trying to shill me on buying AI data center companies. I'm trying to tell him to buy the MicroStrategy or NFTs, and we're just speaking different fucking languages to each other.
That's funny. No, the more I talk to him, he's definitely
he knows what he knows, and he knows what he likes, and he doesn't give a fuck about anything else. And that's actually good in the sense of he doesn't distract himself.
He's gonna win that way for sure.
Exactly. He's picking his lane. But dude, I'm a huge fan of Dith, man. Just with all the work that we did at Crypto Raiders with game design and economy design and stuff like that, and seeing him do it, it's so hard to get these things right. Mm-hmm. And he's really been nailing it. So, well, I mean, that whole team, including you. So shout out.
Well, yeah, thank you. Even though I literally I'm like chief of vibes, so I'll take it. But
marketing's important, man. You can build the biggest thing in the world. If no one knows it exists, it's worth zero.
How do NFTs like Gigaverse NFTs play into XP?
Okay, so twofold. And this goes back to the XP stuff. So one, think about it like the coins I just talked about as well, right? So you're going to get XP for holding NFTs, but you want to be, I think of it as a leaderboard again. You think about the holder count as well. So the more NFTs you have, the higher you are on the holder list of a project, the more XP that you're going to get allocated. Like let's say Gigaverse gets 5 million XP to distribute. I don't actually know a number, but let's say they get 5 million XP to distribute. Well, then it's going to distribute accordingly to the holder. So if I'm like the 7th largest holder, I'm going to get way more XP than someone who's the 70th largest holder. And so the bigger the project, the higher the market cap and volume, and there's a couple metrics go into it, the more XP they're going to get. I have a decent amount. I think I have like 14 ROMs from Gigaverse, but I also have the most expensive ROM. I took like a gamble before the team, before they picked me up, but I bought, I think for 1.2 ETH back when the floor was, the floor has been really good, but so I bought that, and that kind of helped my XP a lot. But then in the game, just like I mentioned before, how you can visually have stubs, like XP stubs, it'll also have on your ROM holdings in the game, like XP stub numbers next to each ROM. And this is actually cool. Actually, they just did this update this week or last week. But so the more rare the ROM, the more XP stubs you get for it. But then they just added a new room, which is like the ROM upgrade room, basically. And you can, again, going back to economy, burn a certain item or certain items to then upgrade how much XP stubs you get per week for that ROM. And so now people are burning the fuck out of that item. And now I think I max upgraded, not max upgraded, but I went crazy on my rarest ROM. I think it went from giving me 1,000 XP stubs to I'll be getting 3,000 XP stubs every week just for holding. So
how do I get into the game?
That is not the link. That's the good luck, have fun link. The Gigaverse link is
talk to Magic Eaton. Put that on the Asana.
I'll tell them. Gigaverse.io/play. And then someone brought up before, but there's also bonus tiers for XP for holding Pengu. So it's not just about the XP allocation, but you also get bonus XP. So if you hold, this is on the website on Abstract on the portal, but there's 3 different tiers. There's Pengu 1 if you hold 88,000 Pengu, that tier 2, which is or 888,000, and then Pengu tier 3, which is 8,888,000, whatever. And so that's another way they've been doing it. But for anyone who's listening, it no longer works if you hold it on Solana. You are incentivized. You have to bridge it to Abstract, or else you won't get the XP. But yeah, so I mean, I was going to say also the other one that's been cooking for me with XP has been Bitcoin, because the mining rigs, ever since the new CTO with Board Elon, and you know, he's got a whole group with him who's doing the CTO with him. They made the mining rigs on chain now. So I have like 4 of the rarest mining rigs, Blackwells, which cost 6,000 big you can mint with, or you can buy them on OpenSea. And so what's it called? So because those are the rarest ones, and I'm now on the top holder of those NFTs, I'm also getting a ton of XP from that as well. And the coin too. Even though the chart looks shit at the moment, it's still 7 million market cap, which makes it one of the higher coins. So I'm getting a decent amount of XP from that as well. Yeah.
So lots of different ways to get XP. I know there's also badges. Like, are there any badges that are just like low hanging fruit that you can still get, or is it basically like you have to do it like certain times?
I would get all the ones that are available to get. Badges don't really give XP though. Like from my experience, I would just get them just to get them, because you never know like how they might do a reward, how, you know, what kind of category would put you in. You know, there's a couple hidden badges. I can find the list and share it later. But there's a couple hidden badges that aren't showing up that you can do in different games to get. The one issue I have with the portal at the moment, and I think a lot of people have this issue, is that duper badge. They haven't done a badge in over a month. Honestly, it feels like maybe 2 months. That duper badge has been ineligible to get for over a month. So I don't know why they haven't done badges in a little bit. Maybe they just it just wasn't giving them what they wanted. But I don't think so, because every time they had a badge, it really pushed activity. They had a K-pop activation. I think there was a badge for it, but they had a K-pop activation, and it went fucking nuts. And I think they're in Korea, or they were in Korea, and they were finding out, you know, basically Abstract is massive in Korea, and that was like a huge success for them on that mint. But so yeah, a ton of ways to earn XP. Streaming, I really hope they do find a way to incentivize it more. But I kind of get worried. It's like, I don't want XP to be the end all be all for incentivizations, because eventually then it just kind of like becomes.
We saw what happened with Blast. You know, like it works until TGE, and then you need to have some self-sustaining flywheel post TGE.
Yeah, and call me just like an outsider, right? That's not super in this. The streaming doesn't excite me as much as like the cool gaming things happening, or even the meme coins. I thought like the meme coin run was really cool. I love the gaming stuff that's happening over there, and obviously Pudgy's pushing hard into gaming, especially with what Pump's doing with streaming. Not to like knock on like Abstract, but it's just like you're in a super competitive place with the streams. Now I understand the streaming synergy with gaming is very there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for sure. And I mean, as someone who's, you know, been streaming and then you watch Pump and it kind of feels like you're left in the dust to a degree, just because part of it felt like, okay, well, you know, they're getting promoted a shit ton. Like all these streamers are getting a lot of love from Pump, as well as obviously like financial incentivization, because on Abstract, we have core features that really should be there for any streaming. Like we don't have any subscriptions. We don't have any channel emotes. We don't have any notification. Like we're missing so much. But I think it's important for me to remember that to not be entitled, because streaming is not like Abstract is not a streaming product, right? Streaming is a part of the whole product of the portal itself. But, you know, I think once they, or even a perfect example, you're looking at this stream right here. You see in the bottom right how it says they're playing Duper. Like, wouldn't it be cool if when I click that, like I can put my own custom referral link, and then when you click that, like that would, like when you go play the game, that ties to me. Right now, it only ties to Abstract, which I did a space yesterday, and it was like a really big topic. So there's just a lot of things for streaming. I would really love to see them kind of lean into it more, but one of the biggest topics, again, we've talked about is the team is very small. And they didn't raise a lot on their initial raise. I think it was like 11 million over a year ago. And, with change of their burn rates, that is pretty insignificant. So I understand they're not able to produce as much as they'd like to as fast, especially right now as they're going to start leaning more into DeFi stuff. And they're probably going to ramp up the portal to like a V2 product to make the trading part way more interesting. They're going to introduce dark mode finally, I pray to God, which they've been teasing for a little bit. But also, I don't really think you get XP for watching streams, whoever asked that. I think the hard part is you don't want to reward things that are easily botted. With volume, you can easily, bot that. With viewing streams, you can easily bot that. And so I think they're just trying to avoid rewarding certain activities that could easily be faked. But yeah, I think the streaming thing could be really cool if they really tie it more in and create incentives for streamers. The famous Luca interview when he was on OG's stream was something, I'm going to paraphrase here, but it's like, the biggest streamers are going to make millions of dollars on Abstract. And it's been over a year, or it's been about a year. And, we're not seeing anything close to that. In fact, the only way to really make money is from tips and donations. But the problem with tips and donations is that, well, as soon as the market kind of does shitty, people become less generous. And I don't think I've really received many tips at all in the last couple months of streaming. And, when you have models like subscription or creator coins, if you want, right? It's like, those are things that are kind of going to be continuous that you can incentivize people into. With the subscription badge or a creator coin, I can paywall stuff like channel emotes or, a sub-only mode or stuff like that. So I think there's a lot they need to work on to incentivize that side. But yeah, right now it's a lot of it kind of comes down to also streaming is not open to everyone. And I think that's been one thing that has been hit or miss. I don't really hate it, but you have right there, you see, you have to apply to be a streamer. It's, if you guys applied, you guys would get accepted right away, which is
that right? Is that right?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
What I mean, I'm pending.
Are you still pending? Well, you gotta maybe ping Finn. But and so with Pump, anyone can stream. With Twitch, anyone can stream. With Abstract, it's a little tougher. I know they kind of want to. It's a twofold thing, whereas they want to have some quality control. They don't want to just have their feed filled with a bunch of shit. They don't want it to be like Pump Fun streams where people are killing themselves or doing drugs or whatever.
Drugs are bad.
No. Well, yeah.
I mean, it's not classy. It's not classy. Like,
right.
You don't want someone freebasing crack on Abstract.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it'll get some volume. But yeah. So
if it's like Wolf of Wall Street style,
yeah, then it'd be lit.
Maybe like a Quaalude, Steve Madden.
But yeah, I mean, I think farming on Abstract isn't what people think it is. I think you can literally just have fun, play the games you like. You don't have to use a ton of money, but if you don't use a ton of money and you want to play games, listen, okay. People need to not be entitled. You're not you don't deserve XP just because you spend time on the ecosystem, because a bot can do that. If you want to get XP for playing games, you better achieve things in the games, right? Like you need to win, you need to be on top of leaderboards, you need to win stuff, you need to prove yourself, or you provide value through giving liquidity or holding a bunch of coins to help TVL. And so look, I think it's still kind of early to do this. TGE hasn't been announced. Luca made his infamous statement of, I don't want to do TGE until we're the number 2 L2. I don't know when that's going to be. I don't know what that
What's the number
is.
1 L2?
It's got to be base, right? Yeah, for sure. But again, I don't know what the metric is. I don't know if it's by TVL or if it's by vibes. If it's by vibes, I think we get there sooner than later.
I mean, what I respect is one thing I honestly believe to my inner core is that Blast would be in a completely different situation right now. Could be number 2 right now if it didn't rush its TGE. It really tried to TGE so fast, and I don't know if that was due to blast token unlocks, or sorry, blur token unlocks. They were trying to roll over or whatever. But remember, it was like 4 months. If they had made that like a year-long farm into 2020, early 2025, and like that means that projects had more time to be quality, like the people that you were attracting were in there for the long haul, I think they'd still be around in a big way today, but they rushed it. So a lot of respect to the guys over at Abstract not trying to rush it, because I think that's it's bad. If you rush it, you get people that want to rush out the door. Like you.
Well, I think you kind of nailed it. I mean, Ray just had Wolf Game up there, but because they just bridged over to Abstract. I think that is one of the biggest things and it's the same reason why Luca has all these connections in the creator world. He could probably get like some of the top streamers to come show up for a day or two, right? But the problem is do you think Abstract is ready for that? Do you think the portal is sticky enough to where if you bring in 100,000 people in a day, they would stick around when the streamer ends the stream? I don't think so. I don't think it's ready for that. Same thing with TGE. Like, do you feel like you have a community? Do you feel like you ever Hype? I think did super well because it was a product that worked really well, that people were using, and so people stuck around on Hype.
Yeah.
With Abstract, it's the same thing. If the portal's not developed enough, if the products aren't all there, it's not sticky enough, are people going to stick around? And so I think, to me at least, does it suck for the speculation on chain a little bit? Yeah, because once he said that, people were like, oh, well, TG is not anytime soon. Why the fuck am I like here farming this, right? Like people felt that way. A lot of them got off, got in because they're like, okay, well, this is early then. I still have a lot of time. That's what I was saying to you. Like, I think it's still a decent, like you can still get to gold really easily. You can still get to platinum, I think, really easily. Like I don't want to say how much to put in what things on air, because then it feels like whatever, because these market caps are so low. But so to me, at least, I'm a fan of it. I know people weren't really happy about it, but if it means that in the long run, Abstract is healthier, that's what I want. So yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense. I'm like going through like my Wolf Game stuff now, because like I think I have some like random assets from like way back when, like maybe a wool pouch and some wool. Yeah, here it is. So I like gotta like collect wool, like put it over, maybe like try to play some Wolf Game, because it was pretty fun in terms of like the experience on ETH mainnet. Like that was a wild run we had for Wolf Game, but I have like pouches that have just been like accumulating wool, and it looks like it's going to turn into some sort of token. So hopefully that's
all that can be bridged over to Abstract, I guess. I've never played Wolf Game. I was always late to it, so I faded it.
Yeah, it was one of my first big hits. I ended up buying some sheep, minting some sheep for Wolf Game, and not enough, because I had bought some art that rugged and went to zero. Like,
yeah, but at least it looks good in your wallet now.
Yeah, so I got 31K wool. I can migrate to Abstract. I've been playing around with this.
Yeah, and then get some XP playing that. I think Seed Phrase bought it, right? Like he bought and then brought over to Abstract. So I think with Abstract, I think what's going to be interesting is the selling point is, again, like they raised 11 mil. They don't, and this is a really big thing, they don't provide grants, right? They're not offering teams money to come to Abstract, which has been probably like a struggle for some of these projects to wrestle with. But there's product market fit. There's people who are going to play these games, whether it's for XP or because the community here is kind of built for that. And so I think for Wolf Game, it was interesting. I definitely am curious to see how many other projects from other ecosystems decide to bridge over. Versus, I don't want it to turn into that, because then it just feels like, okay, well, we're just it's kind of like crypto, where we celebrate the Z-list celebrities as A-list celebrities. I don't want Abstract to turn into that, where we celebrate all the older games as like, oh my God, this is amazing. And it kind of deters or turn off like new games from building because they don't have, grants given to them or stuff like that. So I think it's cool. I think Wolf Game is a really big name to bring over. I'm definitely interested in seeing what else comes or who else comes to Abstract.
Yeah, it's cool to have like some of the established players, but you lose a little bit of like the speculation with like current holders coming over. It's not as much of like a green pastures opportunity for newcomers. I think you covered a lot of abstract. I think I have a much better idea of where I get XP from and how to do it. Summing it up basically is like be a top holder of a meme, get as many of the bonuses you can that are like low cost essentially. So if you could afford a little pudgy 7.5%, I don't know if that cost benefit makes sense, but definitely connect your Discord, try to get whatever roles you can. If you're someone who wants to be active in the abstract community, apply to be a streamer, provide value on the timeline, try to get that Giga Chad role in the Discord. That's a big one that doesn't cost any money. And then basically decide, hey, do I want to hold Pengu or do I want to try to be top holders on some of these early stage meme coins?
Yeah. The only thing I'll add to that early stage meme coin thing is make sure those coins, like being a top holder in a 100K market cap coin will do nothing for you. You want to make sure they're still like they're earlier coins, they're whatever, they're not you can be a top holder in them, but there's still substantial enough coins. Like, Cyclops is 1.5 mil, God is 2 point something mil, Retzba, Gunnar, like they're still in the millions market cap. That's where you'll see some benefit.
Yeah, honestly, I wish I just added to Cyclops instead of just kind of messing around with some of the other stuff I did. I think I bought some God on stream today. I bought some of that Kona because I like as a DeFi play. They're pushing for it sub 1 mil. It just seems like it's crazy to me.
And I want to point something out. Clemente is up fat on God. The challenge, I hated the challenge because it literally was like the top of God at like 10 mil or whatever when Clemente started the challenge against Easy. But he got into God, I think, at like 500K. So he's still up like significant on his total bag. But that little portion he has when God was at all-time high when the challenge started definitely didn't help the perception of it. Who's winning in the end right now? Is it still Easy?
Yeah, I mean, current prices. I think this is still updated, but he's up $1,000, 10% on his overall port he put together of altcoins, basically led by Pump. It's basically the entirety of that difference. Clemente just down bad everywhere.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about this. Maybe I'll talk about it on the show tomorrow. I like Docker, and I have some thesis on Zora coins. Hopefully, I don't get front ran by the market here over the next 24 hours, but I do want to talk about that tomorrow. Not a lot of time left for it today. One last thing. We had a comment in the on the YouTube chat. Let me find it. It was Ray. Have you seen Addicted on Soul? You all have to have heard about it. So funny story about this. I saw this in one of my chats. I think it was a Tokenworks chat, and I think there was a Bodalgo in there who was talking about it very early, like 2 to 3 mil. And they're like, yeah, it's kind of like big, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, Eli's coming on the show tomorrow. I've been talking about abstract. I've been talking to Eli. Let me just ping it off him to see if he's in it, thinking it was like an abstract token. This is at 2 million. There's this Wii token for this game. I think it's like a drug dealing Bitcoin clone on Solana. So I was completely off on like what happened. I didn't do any due diligence. I just threw it over to Eli, and he's like, I just saw this. I'm not gonna buy it though. I'm a little and then I was like, okay, I'm not even gonna bother with this then. Not even knowing it's on Solana. Later in the day, it had ran up to like 30 million, like a 15x from when I pinged Eli, and just had no idea. Absolutely crazy. But
that one hurts a little bit.
Yeah, the Ponzi's are definitely still alive on in crypto. That's nuts. I don't know too much about it. I do know it kind of like follows the model of Bitcoin, where like you buy different things to upgrade your.
What's the market cap right now? Oh, whoa. Okay.
Where's
I
that
don't
now?
feel that anymore. Dude, it ran to 80 mil.
Did it really?
Yes.
Can you paste the CA into the private chat? I can never find it when I just look for it.
I thought it was the stupidest thing ever, dude.
Oh,
yeah. This is like the game loop here. It's like this.
I mean, it looks cool. I mean, it does like Web3 games. That's what people do like, is they like these kinds of things,
like the Sims, the Ponzi Sims.
Yeah,
that's like the biggest product market fit for Web3 games.
I need to change my framing mindset, dude. I need to rewire my brain, because when I
Q4,
saw
baby.
Dude, when I saw this at 10 mil, I was like, okay, yeah, this is cooked. 80 mil. I mean,
well, you've been on abstract so long that like 10 mil is like, it probably feels toppy to you.
It does. Yeah, no, it really does.
What's the ticker?
Weed.
I love it, but I can't find it on Dex.
But it's weird because
in private chat.
Another turnoff was was the Addicted thing, because I saw them on Twitter like almost 2 years ago when they first made I don't know when they made their account, but I just didn't know I thought they were like pumping out rug games consistently, and so that was another thing that turned me off. But Jesus Christ, I didn't realize it ran that high. Shit.
You must decrease your IQ level going to Q4.
I need to. Shit.
And the thing is, like, you have to hold these too. Like, I mean, 2 mil, I could have easily sold this at 4, 6, 8, 10.
Who do you appreciate? I mean, you're never gonna buy the bottom. You're never gonna take the top.
No, I disagree.
You're making money.
I've got to, bro. If I don't, I'm miserable.
Well, you got to reframe then. There you go. Oh man. This one definitely hurts a bit. We're running up on over an hour now. Eli, thanks for joining us. Any last shout outs? Where can people find you? What do people need to know right now about the Gigaverse ecosystem? What can you tell us about just any final words, really?
Yeah. If you want to find me on all platforms, Twitter, X, IG, Hinge, it would be Proof of Eli with a Y. All things abstract related. Probably going to start posting about maybe other things, AVAX, Bitcoin, creatine. So definitely make sure to follow me. But yeah, look, abstract I think is still early. I would say, especially right now, we suffered our big, massive red month, and everything kind of drew down 80%, 70%. So if you felt like you were sidelined or you were too late, this is probably, I would say, the best time to start looking at abstract and start getting into it. Also, the perk system, I wanted to talk about that. It was fun. So abstract, check it out. Gigaverse, best game on abstract in my opinion. It's not even close. They paid me to say that, but I also said it before they paid me. And I would definitely check it out. If you have any questions, I'm there to talk to. Just don't DM me saying hey. Actually, lead it with a real message. And I'm active on X all day, every single day. So if you need me, I'll be there.
I'm pretty sure I started at the DM from the Bodogas account with you with hey.
Yeah, but I also knew it was coming. So yeah, the answer is yes.
Hey.
Yeah, I knew it was coming, so I didn't mind that one.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Loved all the in-depth insight you gave us into abstract, how to farm, how to earn some XP over there, and generally just like how the ecosystem feels. Thanks again for joining. Thank you for listening. We do this podcast Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch us on all major podcasting platforms. Catch us on X, Spotify. Watch us back on YouTube. You can see what we're talking about in real time. See the abstract dashboard.